Hello and welcome back to the Editing Project. Today we're going to start a new segment called Classic Gear Review. Aren't we, Ed?
Yes, and basically what it is we're going to take a little trip down memory lane to pieces of gear that we used to use, and hopefully you guys know about. So it's actually going to be called, as Ian says, Classic Gear Review, but you'll see it as CGR segment.
Indeed.
Marvellous. Okay guys, so Ian, what we're going to review today is a classic piece of my equipment that I had from 2002, I believe it was, or 2003, and it's my old Pod XT, and the floor unit that accompanied it, well, was an add-on that I bought, and I'll switch it on now and you'll see the thing. I mean, I'm surprised it just kicked off after 22 years in a box. So we switch them on, you'll see the pod come up first, and then you'll see, there you go, we're all up on the...
We're all up and on.
The lights and the display and everything. So it was very convenient and live. The display was there for you to see where you want to change your patches.
That's right, yeah.
So guys, we're going to take you through that today and maybe compare it against how it sounds against the Helix and Helix Native.
And the Helix Native, yeah.
And what progress there is over 22 years.
Absolutely,
Marvellous.
Ed. It is.
So we'll be back in a second, guys.
We certainly will. Right then, Ed. So, now I remember these units from years ago. Only I don't remember there being that many controls on the one that a guitarist I used to work with. It seemed to be simpler than that. You know, not so much.
It was a pod.
Yeah.
Because the original pod, and then the version 2, this is the third reincarnation of it, the XT. But the pod original and then the pod 2, as far as I'm led to believe, are exactly the same as that. Because basically what these dials are all your tone control and your volume and output that you would have on an amp. That's what that is.
Yeah.
At the minute, where these are all set is reminiscent of how my own cover, my own preset for live,
yeah.
Doing all the cover stuff that I did live. That's the setting that would be there.
Well, it would be, yeah.
And then what you have on it is you have your output. Obviously, main outputs will go into your desk or into an amp or a PA, whatever. Then you have, so anyway, what you have is, on the right hand side here, you have your input, the guitar plugged in here. Then we have a phones output. The output on the output control works on the phones and the master left and rights. At the moment, I've only got it plugged into the left output, which simulates the mono, because we're running in mono.
Mono, yeah.
Although the effects and everything that, if we take it out in stereo, would come out in stereo.
Well, it would do, yeah.
So anyway, we have that. Then from the bottom left, you have a rotary control which selects your amp models. I think there's 32 or whatever in it. So you can scroll through your amp models. Then you set your output to where it's going, your DAW, your chord, your whatever. Then we have come to your, basically what is the controls that would be on your amp. You have a drive control, which maybe nowadays would be termed gain control.
Gain control.
Driving gain. Then you have your normal, your EQ section, which is bass, middle, treble, and presence. Then you have a channel volume, and obviously you can assume on an amp this output would be your master volume, your channel volume, and then you have a reverb. One I can't remember how many. There's just a few reverbs, not many. But I use it basically on a spring reverb, and it's set very low.
Very low, yeah.
So that it gives me a little bit of something when I was playing over tracks live. We have the effects dial here, rotary, which obviously you can scroll through it, and it scrolls you through all the effects from dynamic to EQs to modulation to delays and everything like that, and then once up there you select what you want, and obviously once you've tweaked all these things to how you want. That you've selected the amp, then you've selected all the tones that you want on the amp with the tone controls. You have your save button here. You press it twice. You hit it the first time, and it gives you sort of, you sure you want to save kind of a thing, and then and it also gives you the option where you want to save it to. And then you press it the second time, and you see the little scroll bar showing the progress of the saving.
Marvellous.
We have an edit button, so when you're in the parameters, obviously press the edit button on a specific parameter, and it will take, it allows you to edit that. You've got the effects tweak that dial, which does that. You've got a bit of inbuilt tuner, which let the guys see. If you press the tuner in, he lights up, and he's pretty stable. Try for bottom E. Oh, let's get a little bit of volume on the guitar
Volume,
first.
yeah.
There you go, guys. I mean,
Marvellous.
you're right. Those two lines above, the arrow above, but when you hit in that, that's perfect. But anywhere within that, within those brackets, it's said to be okay. We have the tuner, yeah. Then we'll get the 4 function buttons depending on the edit you're in. You can highlight the function you want to be bringing up these. And what else do we have? Along the top, we have an air stroke cab, which is basically your cab, like in the new models,
Yeah.
or an IR, whatever you call
Well,
it.
it would
That
be,
is
yeah.
that is that. You can have it as a. I used to remember what the EIR stood for, but I'm not sure. I can't remember. It's been 22 years ago.
Down in the comments below if you know,
If you know,
guys.
and if you don't, you can
Engage with it. Come
yeah,
on,
you
let's
can-
get those
yeah.
comments
You
going.
can always look it up anyway, because I'll do
Yeah.
that in a minute.
You could do it.
But
in a
anyway, that's
minute,
your
yeah.
cab. So when you press that, you get a range of cabs come up, and you can rotary control select for those. We have a delay, so when he's lit up, he's on. And obviously, when he's off, when he's extinguished. And then you have a modulation, which again will be your either, depending on what you pick, a chorus or a flanger,
Chorus,
or
yeah.
a phaser indeed, or something like that. We have a stomp, really, which is a choice of distortion pedals or overdrive pedals, and you assign that in the patch when you save it. And when you want your clean tone to get a little bit gritty or whatever, you can bring it, you hit the stomp. Or in my case, when I had the pedal board, you do it on the pedal board, and it does all the functions that it
will
does
do,
here
yeah.
with your feet. That's where your stomp button is. The last button is a comp stroke gate. So you could either select within the edit to have it as a gate. If you had a noisy guitar or noisy signal,
Yeah.
you can select it as a gate.
Get the gate. Yeah.
I must admit I've never had to use it.
Keep the dogs in, yeah.
Yeah, or you select it as a compressor.
Yeah.
Now, I always selected it as a compressor, but I didn't really use it as a compressor.
No.
The threshold in the compressor was really barely on and very, very low. But what I did use it for was I put a bit of gain on it, so in effect it was really getting used as a boost pedal. So when I went into the stomp, I could have it really crunchy and gritty and what. But when I went into a full-blown lead, if I wanted that little bit more level, I kicked in the comp button, which would be like a boost, and then boost it again. It's yeah. So basically, that is the function of it, guys. And
Nice.
on the back, you have a left output and a right output.
You would do, yeah.
When it's put into the left input, I'm sure it defaults to mono, which a lot of products do. But you can run in stereo. Then we have an Ethernet port here, which plugs in the cable from the pedal board.
Pedal boards, yeah.
Ethernet port on both, and an Ethernet cable before you switch in. And next to that is a USB. USB basically was for any firmware updates. Had to be connected to your computer, obviously, like everything is, or connected to your computer with the software. And it's easier, obviously, to do all your editing on a computer screen than this little tiny screen. Although it's very, it's very legible and readable, but it's still small.
It's small.
Whereas when you got on a big computer, you can see things, drag the delay in, drag the old one, do blah blah blah. So that's the USB function. And then lastly, you have a MIDI. In and out. So you can control it with a MIDI pedal as well, rather than the dedicated line 6 pedal.
All right, let's hear it then, Ed.
Right, guys. Well, what we've decided to do with this, we're only going to show you a few presets on it. We've decided to start off with one that's built into it as it comes up from the factory, and it's Well, it's 19A, and the way this works is that each bank has got 4 presets. So you have bank 1, and then you have A, B, C, and D. Then 2, A, B, C, and so forth. So we're on 19A, and this preset is an LA Studio Rack, which I'm assuming is like a 80s session player studio sound. It's based on a Cali Crunch, which is a Mesa Boogie amp. It's paired with, if we press the cab and air button here, it brings up, it's defaulted with a 4x12 V30s. So the V30s are Celestions. So that's what that's got. And then we have the delay active as it comes up, as standard. We'll bring the rest in to let you see how it goes. But the basic sound now is clean. It's got a little bit of break up if you dig in. Play it quiet, nice and clean, dig in and you got a bit of a grit on it. So I'll let you see. So here's the bridge pickup, played fairly lightly, so it'll be clean. If we dig in a little bit, it should add a little bit of hair.
Very nice, Ed. Yeah.
Then I'm going to let you hear both pickups together now.
Yeah.
And finally the neck pickup on its own. So basically that's the out of the box sound.
Out of the box.
Preset 19A. So we'll now let you hear I'll bring in the modulation, which is a chorus.
Marvellous.
It is marvellous.
It is. It's marvellous, yeah.
Back to the bridge pickup. So we will kick in now the stomp mode, and I think it's an overdrive they've put in this preset. I'm not particularly sure. It could be a distortion, but I think it's more like an overdrive. And we have, you'll notice we also have this button lip which says comp and gate. This is well, it functions as a compressor or a gate, whichever you select it to be. But I have it got set up as a compressor, but I don't actually have it as a compressor because the threshold is very, very, very low on it.
Yeah.
But I've set the level up quite high, so it's more like a boost. So I boost into the stomp when I need a little bit more oomph.
Yeah.
So this is the whole enchilada with delay modulation, the stomp, and the compressor boost in action. And we have this kind of a sound.
It is marvellous.
It's very Lucathy.
Lucathy.
Lucary,
yeah.
So I mean, you get that.
Oh, yeah.
I best not play anymore
No.
because you could get
I know.
hit with a big hammer for the copyright on that one. But you get the point, you get the
You do,
idea, guys.
yeah.
And I think this is what this is based on, this LA Studio sound. It's,
LA, yeah.
it's that kind of an 80s
Well,
type
it
thing.
is, yeah.
So let's look at maybe one more before we go elsewhere. Let me just scroll out a little touch, guys. But you'll see how the display on screen changes as I turn the little dial.
You probably won't because he's
Well, actually,
in the way, yeah.
Let's have a look at this one.
Let's have a look at this one, Ed,
This is set up. This is a Roland. It's called the Jazz Clean, but it's based on a Roland Jazz Chorus amp. It's very, very clean, and set up. It's named single coil, so I'm assuming when they set this patch up, they did it with a single coil in mind, like a Telecaster or a Strat. But anyway, we're going to use it on the Les Paul, and what we will do is let you hear a little bit of this as well. again, it comes right out of the preset with the delay and modulation active, and the cab that it's paired with is a 212 Jazz, which is basically the 212 cabinet, because it was a 212 combo, so it's coming with its own 212 combo speakers, and you get this kind of a I think you see where that's coming from, guys.
Yeah.
But that's we have that,
yeah.
and obviously there's other things that you can kick in, like the stomp mode and the comp, and maybe get a little bit of. Well, it actually doesn't get very much stuff to it.
No.
Might add a little bit of grit, but it's supposed to be a clean amp anyway. So basically, that's those two guys. But I'd like to just take you back to say. For no other reason, this is just where I dumped this one, but this is my own presets that I use for live. I use this for live. I'll turn this down a minute. So I go back to 6A. I mean, I know it might sound silly, why didn't you put it in 1A, the first one? But I was working on that preset and I altered it to suit myself, so I just kept it where it was, 6A. Well, you would do.
Yeah.
Anyway, what I've got set up here on so I've just noticed another one I used to use, which is called Top Gun, and that's self-explanatory. That's the Top Gun theme, played by Joe Satriani, and written by Joe Satriani. Anyway, this is 6A, and I just called it Cover Tones. And basically what it is this is what I use live, because at this particular time, I used this for about 13 years or whatever, until I eventually went onto the HD 500s.
HD, yeah.
But I used that from 2002 when it was released till 2013 when the first HD 500, so 11 years or whatever. And what I did was I set this up with, a Mesa Boogie Cali Crunch, but this time I paired it with 4x12 tread plate cabinet, which again is a Mesa Boogie.
Well, it's understandable, yeah.
Yeah, it's a Mesa Boogie 412 cabinet. So we have everything's off when I use it live, and it was plugged straight into the mixing desk, no backline, nothing, and then backing tracks played over the top, and it was running stereo, so you would get the full, lovely
stereo-ness.
Yeah, you get the nice stereo choruses, stereo delay, stereo reverb. The reverb I put on this actually for my live is a Live Spring, sorry, a Lux Spring, Deluxe Spring, and it's not a lot. I don't put a lot on it. It's below. It's about 11 o'clock, and what we have here, starting with the treble pickup again, is just the amp, cab, and a touch of reverb, and then we have this. Now you can hear I've set it up with a bit of grit on it.
You have.
But if I play it lightly, it cleans up.
Marvellous. Yeah, you wouldn't think there was any
And then if I
drive
dig
there,
in,
yeah.
and then clean again.
Again, yeah.
So that little bit of dig in just gives you a bit of hair when you want it. And as I say, as you can hear, the spring reverb doesn't get in the way, really. It adds a little bit of fullness in the live situation.
Yeah.
It's not dominating.
No.
Then we'll kick in the amount of delay that I use, which is always preset. So we bring in this sort of delay, and then we have this.
That got me going there.
Oh,
Sorry, Ed.
yeah. We'll take the delay off a minute and we'll put the modulation in. Again, it's just a light modulation. Then, from there, I had an overdrive on the stomp switch, so when I kick that in, it'll add a little bit more grit again.
Bit of grit, yeah.
If I take them off, the grit's still there, but not just as much. Back in.
This is marvellous.
And then if I bring in the comp, which is a boost for me, again, that's very subtle, just enough. And we'll finish off, kick the lot in mod, you know, the chorus and delay in.
Put it all in
And
it.
we have our final.
Bloody marvellous. That is a 20-year-old piece of kit. So if you want to see more of this,
Yeah.
guys, drop it in the comments below. Thanks for the subscribership.
Oh,
Marvellous.
it's marvellous.
But we could do a few more likes, couldn't we, Ed? And a
Oh.
few more dingy dongs. What do they call it? The press button ringy
Well,
thing.
well, that's the likes with the big thumb up.
Is it? Yeah.
You know, like button, give us big thumbs.
Yeah.
Yeah. So keep the subscriptions coming, guys, because we're just over 6,000 now.
I know. See you next time, guys.
Sayonara, guys.